gosh damn it, I'm living in the year 1999, and the rate of religious Americans is at an all-time low, according to Pew Research. What are we doing wrong? Why is the Lord's message failing to reach the youth? What could possibly be replacing religion in their lives? I got an idea. Also, I work at Walmart. I'm a Walmart guy.
These things I read about, the way the world works. I'll lift the spoon to socket and dig my eyes out. These things I hear about, the way the world works. I'll bring the knife to ears, that's myself clear.
Back in 96 or 97, there was a humble man named Robert Westmoreland, because there's always more land out west. He worked at Walmart as the part owner and executive vice president of marketing and development, and saw an influx of small-budget bass fishing games doing sales numbers, no doubt including Monster Bass. Seeing an opportunity, he commissioned GT Interactive to publish a sports hunting game for cheap to be sold primarily at Walmart. This resulted in Deer Hunter, a cost-effective game that sold in huge numbers. Deer Hunter ended up being a pretty lengthy series, spawning sequels like Deer Hunter 2, The Hunt Continues, and Deer Hunter 3, The Legend Continues, in Arabic numerals instead of Roman ones for some reason. Westmoreland saw even more land out west and decided to quit his job at Walmart to join ValueSoft, a game publisher with an illustrious track record of games like Deer's Revenge, a parody of Deer Hunter. Hey, the first game they published would be the one the market was craving, something to bring the people back to the pews. The War in Heaven, a Christian first-person shooter. Now, before I even started the game, there was something wrong. This thing came out in 1999, so I was expecting to run it in compatibility mode, but this I have not seen before. According to a README included in the download by the people who ripped it, War in Heaven will only run properly in a one-core CPU environment. If you run it with more than that, as soon as you encounter the first enemy, a memory leak will start and grow in size until the game crashes. The Rippers have attempted to fix this with a script that will slow down the memory leak, but the game has to run using the .bat file. At first I decided to try the game out with just the .bat to see what happened, and yep, it crashed. I had to find the game in Process Explorer and manually turn off CPU cores to prevent this from happening. So that was a new experience. And for some reason this game needs to make registry edits? Things I do for you guys. Also, despite capturing my entire display, running the .bat file screwed with OBS somehow, so I have to get footage of the whole first level again. It's fine. It's not that bad. Hey, I had to go back and re-record a lot of stuff for this video, and every time I open this game, it just decided to kind of run a little differently each time. So you might notice some inconsistent aspect ratios on the footage. Sorry if that annoys you. Bye. War in Heaven does something kind of interesting for a full-on Christian game. It actually lets you play as a demon. Out of the two campaigns on offer, this was the one I picked first because, number one, I'm an edgelord, and number two, I'm dying to know how they tackled this.
Heaven or hell? It's hell!
An intro screen tells us that we were once a slave of God and have been given freedom, but now hell is under siege, and we must protect the source of our freedom, the Tree of Knowledge. In the first level, your goal is to collect the apple from the tree, which opens the gate to the Boots of Knowledge. After that, it's a simple jog to the exit, and that's pretty much the rest of the game. One of the first things that stuck out to me is the atmosphere. I mean, this game has like 3 polygons in it, and they're all constantly Z-fighting, but the color palette, the imagery, and the music really sell the setting. Just look at the Tree of Knowledge room. Is low-poly surrealism a thing? Because this would be a prime example. these statues in the temple, the courtyard outside. You climb a tower and come to this train platform with green energy crackling along the tracks and pickups inside. If this were a visual experience, I'd give it high marks. Unfortunately, you have to play it. First things first, the default control scheme. Guys, this was 1999. What is this? Even by the standards of the time, end and page down for strafe buttons? Are you serious? This game is seriously lacking in options in general, which, as an options freak, I found annoying. The whole game, I was begging for an FOV slider. It's so cramped. Or, God, any graphic settings besides mip-moop smoothing? By the way, when you see stuttering, that's not the video. The game just runs like that. I'm flying through the level in this footage, but rest assured, my first playthrough was a lot of wandering around trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. See, you get these little mission briefings, but the way they're written only gives you half a hint as to what you're supposed to do. This one just says you need to ward the sacred tree, not collect a pair of boots. Alright then. Level 2 starts out at what looks like a train station in hell, which is weird because we didn't leave on the train in the last level, but whatever. Again, when this game wants to, it can have fantastic imagery. Before that, they introduce a more powerful melee enemy and melee weapon, an authentic pitchfork. I mean, it's only got 2 prongs, but at least they're devil horns, I guess. This level is long. It has a lot of tight corridors where you're forced to fight, and the combat is pretty... it's there. One of the standout sequences is this room, where you have to do the jankiest platform I've seen in a long time. Look at this. You have to circle around this weird structure until you get to the top and drop through a mandatory fall damage smokestack.
Soldier boy, tell.
Few more connecting rooms, and there's this big mountain with the goal item on top, the Helmet of Disobedience. Much like the first level, it's a quick hop. Is it a quick hop? Can I jump off of here? Oh God, am I stuck? After that finicky bit of platforming, we hit level 3, the Pit of Despair. This is the first level where I really noticed the music. The whole aesthetic here is this oppressive series of caves with structures made of primitive materials, and the score really enforces that. It's mostly drums with these tight staccato hits over lower bassier percussion and warbling synths. It's foreboding and savage feeling. Anyway, the game is really unclear about the objective here. I made it all the way to the end of the level without getting the item I needed because of it. There were these books in the first 2 levels with narration that I think was supposed to give hints about the goal, but they're so vague I didn't pay it much attention. Here, the briefing tells you nothing besides the fact that there's some items in the cave. Yeah, I figured. This book actually tells you something useful, ? That there's a thing, and you shouldn't let your sister have it, and you should strike her down. A little further up, there's a demoness waiting, who I'm pretty sure I have to kill. When it becomes apparent that I can't damage her and she starts running somewhere, my first thought is, oh, this is a race. I have to get the item before she does. Luckily, she gets stuck on some enemies, dies, I race past her, and make it all the way to the end, and yeah, no dice. Here's what you actually have to do. There's a door in the first corridor after the room with the demoness. The item is behind it, but she's the only one who can open it. So you have to protect her until she opens the door, then beat her to the Shield of Hate, triggering her to turn on you, and then you kill her. It's a neat idea to force the player to act selfishly and betray their own kind. It's just not communicated that well. This is a good time to talk more about the gameplay. It's obviously ripping on 90s shooters, but it's clear that the devs didn't really know what made those games tick. The enemies are very simple. Either they do a melee strike or they shoot something at you, and the only real difference between them as the game goes on is how much health they have and which weapon they're using. Unfortunately, the weapons, which are the same ones you have, are also boring. I think of Blood, which has my favorite combat in any FPS, and one of the first things my mind goes to is how every weapon is unique, and they all have totally different applications. The combat almost feels like an open sandbox with the variety of tools you have. War in Heaven's weapons are melee hit, throw a projectile, melee or projectile, projectile, melee, I'm falling asleep. Even if the level design is alright, the combat encounters themselves are boring because the pieces that make it up, the enemies and the arsenal, are dry and redundant. The movement is bad too, like, I'm sprinting here. This is sprint speed. Combat is such a waste of time that I ended up running past as many enemies as possible, and when I was forced to fight back, it's just kind of a slog. Oh, I completely forgot to mention blocking. You can block with your melee weapons in this. It does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It blocks like one hit, but the enemies attack so quickly that it doesn't even matter. I'm pretty sure they can attack faster than you can block again. It's useless. Oh, and I discovered these fireballs are actually a new weapon. I just thought that there were floating balls of flame because we're in hell, but no. Finally, we reach the pearly gates of heaven. Time to take the fight to the angels. As expected, the whole aesthetic does a 180. Now you're traversing ornate white marble buildings and green grass. There's still this red sky leering over you, however, and some parts of the level look like they're in ruins from our attack. I really like these doorways that take you to different areas seamlessly. The teleporting effect is surprisingly smooth for how poorly this game runs. Remember how I said the last level was where I first noticed the music? Well, I don't know what the hell the composers were thinking, but they were right. I could see some people being turned off by it, but I love this kind of tonal mismatch. I think it's really cool. One thing I can't figure out is what I'm supposed to do. The briefing at the start said something about a key, but I'm not finding it. I searched every inch of this level and made no real progress. I even found the exit after going through this center building, but failed because I was missing corruption? After about 20 minutes of having no clue what I'm supposed to be doing, I quit out and look up a walkthrough. Okay, here's what you're supposed to do. At the very start, you get this new weapon, which just looks like the full health pickup, but no, it's a weapon. And this new weapon is able to turn enemies into allies if it deals a killing blow to them. Your only goal is to do this one time. You can complete this mission in under 2 minutes. Just whack the first enemy a few times, hit him with the hand, and walk through the center building. Why? Why go through the effort of making such an elaborate level with non-Euclidean portals and multiple areas littered with item pickups and enemies, only for the player to see 10% of it? Whatever, level 5 is much less cryptic. The objective is laid out pretty clearly for you by the book. You need to destroy the altars and scriptures in the level. This one took me a while, but I don't have much to say about it. What's weird is that the book tells you to destroy all of the manuscripts, but you don't have to. You only need like 10 or so. I spent a good 5 minutes trying to find the exit, only for it to be tucked away behind a wall in this side room. Again, there's all these different areas in this level, and the only ones that are used are the opening courtyard, a short walk to the library in the mountain, and the stuff inside. Why are there these multiple buildings and arches and doors when none of it is used? It's like the devs built these levels and then decided what was going to happen in them later. Bizarre. Level 6 is the final challenge. Yeah, we're already at the end. This one is kind of a nightmare. There's high damage enemies in tight spaces constantly dogging for you. I had to abuse their inability to open doors here. It's also labyrinthine, like there is no indication of where you need to go. There's a big room with a cross in it. Do I destroy that? No, it's just there. Also, there's like 4 different doors out of here, and they all lead to sprawling mazes. Eventually, I found my way outside, and from there, it's not too hard to find your way to the end. There's this big bridge looming in the distance, which serves as a landmark to aim for. Now that I'm on it, I just have to... Okay. Well, time to do that over again. Alright, this bridge is leading to a dramatic final boss type area. This book tells me that I need to be greater than my sister, and the void in my soul must triumph over all. I round the corner where this great demon, I think, is that Satan? And a cherubim stand on either side of an angel. I'm expecting a boss battle to start, but it's oddly quiet. I throw some darts at the angel. No reaction. One more. Oh.
The 6th lesson. Murder. So it was when they gave God up and would not
Satan is
him, God gave them
throwing me
to
into a
whatever
fire
evil minds could think of.
because
Their lives would be
he's
full of
evil,
every kind of wickedness
I
and
guess.
sin.
What happened? Did I kill the angel? I've been killing angels the whole game. What's special about this? Why was Satan there with a cherubim? Is this supposed to be symbolic? Huh?
Heaven or hell. It's heaven.
With this being a budget game and all, the Fallen playthrough being only 6 levels makes more sense. If you don't have a lot of resources, I can see the devs making 12 levels, you know? A full-feeling game, and splitting them across 2 different characters, which is a fine concession. We start out in heaven, in a very familiar-looking area. Hang on. Wait. This is just level 5 of the Fallen campaign. All you need to do here is kill one enemy here and collect the Boots of Peace. It says you can use the Alt key to use them, but I never found out what they did the whole game. The Fallen campaign had a similar thing with the boots there, and I also never figured it out. Now we're at the last level of the Fallen playthrough, and basically everything is the same. This one went much faster. At this point, I started to realize what the Divine campaign actually is. Easy mode. Or more accurately, the Fallen campaign is the Divine one, but in reverse and more difficult. When I say easier, I mean less enemies overall, you only have to find an item, no exit, and they give you a lot more ammo for your more powerful weapons. For instance, level 3, the Pearly Gates, is where you get your equivalent of the Fireball spell, a trumpet, except they couldn't fit the word trumpet in the text box, so it's just,
I'll kiss every guy. China.
I was swimming in ammo for these in just this level. The objective here isn't clear at first. The game confronts you with a bunch of enemies, but if you kill one, you instantly fail because those who live by the sword die by the sword. Hey, that's cute and all, but if I don't live by the sword right now, I think I'm gonna die by it anyway. Thankfully, only your spear and melee count as swords, so you can use anything else to kill them. I suppose you're blasting them with holy fire to purify them, so it's okay. Also stoning them to death, very merciful. So, maybe this version of the level is going to have a little more going on, as opposed to the Fallen campaign. Nope. All you need to do is destroy one campfire and run to the shield at the gates. Most of the level is still unused. All these physics-bending portals and intricate areas. The devs do nothing with them. On to the pit of despair. This time, we're descending down into it, which is kind of neat. It's a lot more straightforward until you get to this door, which wouldn't open in the Fallen playthrough. Inside, you find Oh no. Remember how jank and awkward the platforming was before? Well, let's dial that up to 11. Alright, I'm a few jumps in and it's not too bad. You just have to aim for the nearest part of the net. Oh, come on. What? I'm, not taking damage. I'm just chillin'? So, the devs forgot to make this lava floor actually deal damage? Like, they put the texture on it... Excuse me. Like, they put the texture on it and everything, just didn't make it damaging. Meaning, I'm stuck. Well, at this point, I just reload a save, right? Time to talk about this game's delightful save feature. So, you know how in most games with quick save, you can save your game and load it, and you will load in where you saved? Not this game. For some reason, the way saving works in War in Heaven is this. When you enter a level, the game creates a hidden save. If you die or fail the objective, it will reload you there at the start of the level with everything as it was when you entered. If you manually save and then load that save slot, the game will load the hidden save from the first time you entered. Yeah, the save feature is useless. These are meant to spare you the headache of replaying sections by letting you pick up exactly where you saved. Not restart the level, are you kidding me? Once I discovered that this is how it works, I just stopped saving for the most part. I tried to remember to save at the start of each level, but I mean, there's a restart mission button, so why bother? Now I'm stuck in this lava pit that's not a lava pit. If this were a normal game, I would have saved as soon as I got to this platforming section. Hell, I would have saved on every jump. I can't reload my save to get out of here, and I really don't want to restart the level, but I'm out of options. Begrudgingly, I hit F10 to restart. Then I hit it again. And again. Then I double check that it's the right button. Then I try again. Then I rebind it. And I try that. And I come to a realization. The restart button doesn't work. So what am I to do? I sit under the Bodhi tree and am enlightened. I can just make a save right here, load it, and it'll restart the level. I go through the whole pit of despair again, get to this infernal platforming section, nail it, get to the demoness, just like the Fallen campaign, but this time she's repentant, and opens the door for me to collect the, looks like the devs also forgot to move the shield from this version of the level. The penultimate level is the opening one for the demon. They really start throwing a lot of these frog guys at you. They throw lightning bolts that do buckets of damage, and right off the bat, you can't run past this one. Much like the 5th level for the demon, the goal here is to smash stuff. In this case, it's the statues and power generator things. There's a section here that's unique to the angel that's really neat. Before, I was able to walk through these doors, but they're locked, so I need to drop down into the bowels of this pipe network. The atmosphere is just oppressive. One time I had a dream about hell, where it was this perpetually underground place, just a series of caves, tunnels, and corridors. The materials are familiar, brick, steel, and mortar, but the things they make up are twisted and unusual. These are not natural formations. Someone had to build this. Someone had to place these stones. Why? When? The answers are unknowable, but they exist. And in this cramped pipeworks, I feel the shadow of terror weighing down on me. Anyway, you break all the idols and find the item at the end, taking you to the last level. This one took me a good 30 minutes. This one sucks. It's level 2 from the Fallen campaign, in reverse, as you might expect. There was always this conspicuous wheel here that I couldn't figure out back then, but it's actually for the angel. You need to turn it to fill the lake with lava. For some reason. hey, remember this weird hut area from the demon level? It's back. And way worse. For some reason, I keep failing this little platforming challenge, and once I make it up, I have to do glitchy platforming again, this time with a frog spitting lightning at me. And maybe it's because I was in a hurry, but I kept slipping off the roof. I had to do this so many times. Finally, I get to the top and drop down the mandatory fall damage smokestack again. Oh, that's where the demon starts. That has to be the end of the game. Indeed, Satan awaits us inside with a trapped angel. It's boss fight time, an honest-to-goodness boss fight. Am I, hurting him? I can't cut the angel free. What am I supposed to do here? I guess I'll try to kill him, and I die. Time to do it again. This room really is the worst. I'm getting my health shredded by the frogs, and then I get stuck. Come on, I have to restart again? Go through this fucking room again, and I'm back to the boss. What am I supposed to do? Remember at the start of the level, how you had to hit the valve to flood everything with lava? Well, there's one here too. Climb the throne, run along the beam, just gotta land close enough to touch it. Come on. Okay, I'll be really careful this time. And I'm stuck. Stuck. I have to restart the level again. I hate this fucking room. There's so many corridors where you're forced to fight these shitty enemies over and over again. Just let me through. Leap of faith, baby. Damn it. Okay, I'm done playing around. Fuck you, Satan. I'm finishing this game. Did it. There we go. Now the level ends, right? Right? The room is filling with lava. Can the level end? I'm dying. I'm drowning in lava. It's rising. End the level. End the level now. Get me out of here. Get me out of this fucking game.
The sixth lesson, love.
Whew. Yeah, that's it. That's how the game ends. In this New York Times article written before the game's release, The War in Heaven was projected to be a similar success to Deer Hunter. It wasn't. I think a lot of religious media comes from people who look at edgy, satanic-flavored entertainment and think that that's the appeal. Now, while that might get you interested in something, ultimately, games like Doom were successful only partially because of that. The truth is, it's just a really good game. It could have any other theme and it would still kick ass. That's why most religious media is so niche, because the core isn't very deep, be it plot or gameplay or what have you. It only really appeals to people who are already religious. It's practically a novelty item. The creators of War in Heaven clearly knew what first-person shooters were like, and they attempted to imitate it with a biblical skin on top. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of meat under that skin. It has some impressive atmosphere and visuals, if you can get past the polygon count, but it lacks good gameplay. Most of the game is walking to a goal and trying to avoid interacting with things. At the best of times, it's passable, and at the worst of times, frustrating and obnoxious. Check out the back of the box. Explore 12 levels of heaven and hell. Yeah, kind of stretching the definition of 12 there. Fully 3D, non-Euclidean world. Oh, what, you mean one level that you don't even do anything with? War in Heaven was created by a small team of about 15 people, and most of them are artists. Many of them worked on a game called Rebel Moon, which was a tech demo that came bundled with Creative Labs 3D Blaster Accelerator cards. After that, most of them don't have a lot of credits to their name, with one exception. The sound effects and some of the music was done by Michael Larson, who's actually had a very long career working on titles like Gears of War, Prey, and Fortnite. The small level count makes a little more sense when you find out that there was one credited designer who did the whole game. Yeah, Theodore Beale. Beale is actually a real multi-talent. He was in a band called Psychosonic, who saw some success in the mid-90s, and he wrote a book named War in Heaven as a tie-in to this game. He actually has a pretty long list of published works. He's also a white Christian nationalist and political activist. Yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole. There is way too much to go over in regards to Theodore Beale, but we should start with the fact that he often writes under the pseudonym Vox Dei, aka Vox Dei, the voice of God in Latin. Not gonna lie, that's a great pen name. Let's go over some of the highlights. He doesn't believe in evolution. Naturally, he's also anti-vax. He identified so strongly with the label of alt-right that he wrote 16 principles of the movement. The 14th one reads, "We must secure the existence of white people and a future for white children." So there's that. He once wrote that, quote, "Whites are not superior, but whites are the only tribe willing and able to maintain Western civilization because they are the only tribe that truly values it. The answer for those who support Western civilization, regardless of sex, color, or religion, is to embrace white tribalism, white separatism, and especially white Christian masculine rule." Unquote. Oh, you got me all wrong. No. I don't believe that whites are inherently superior. Nah, we earned that shit. We're the only ones who can preserve Western civilization. You know, like Peru. Delving into his bibliography, he has published a lot of books, primarily science fiction. In fact, he was the president of the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America. In 2013, a black member of the organization by the name of N.K. Jemisin called him out on his views and suggested that he not be the one to represent their organization. In response, he called her an ignorant half-savage. Quote, "It is not that I and others do not view her as human, although genetic science presently suggests that we are not equally Homo sapiens sapiens. It is that we simply do not view her as being fully civilized for the obvious historical reason that she is not." This is the same blog post where he calls out a journalist who seconded Jemisin named Teresa Nielsen Hayden and her husband. The fact that her husband took her name when they married is the single insult he uses to discredit him. Quote, "Teresa Nielsen Hayden is dumb enough to have claimed a prominent game blogger with 3 Billboard charting club hits is not acquainted with actual women." What a fucking idiot, am I right? Prominent game blogger with 3 Billboard charting club hits. Then he says she isn't a woman, but, quote, "grotesquely malformed, and a fat frog." This guy is so pleasant. He probably knows what he's talking about, though he seems to have experience with fat frogs. Unsurprisingly, Beale has some interesting opinions about women. He once wrote, quote, "Women's suffrage has been a complete and unmitigated disaster across the West, and it is doubtful that any society can survive it for long. This is because women are emotional creatures, unlike men, who never act emotionally." This is on a separate blogging website called Alpha Game. Yes, really. The first thing I saw when I visited was a post about how women shouldn't cut their hair because they look objectively worse with short hair, and the only reason they do it is to prove that they're attractive. Because if they can be attractive with the objectively ugly short hair, they must be really hot. These are the writings of an insane person. He's fucking nuts. Back in 2011, he wrote a very important text in his mythos called the Sociosexual Hierarchy, in which he breaks down a theory of his for organizing men into different categories based on their average sexual partners. Unlike the alpha-beta binary that was popular in many circles, he presents 7 different male types. And, well, I'm sorry that you have to find out this way, but Theodore Beale is the origin of the Sigma male. He coined it. He defined it. His definition is the one that's used today. There are people out there who subscribe to these ideas. From Theodore Beale, the man who doesn't believe in evolution, who doesn't think women should vote, who patented this fucking thing. The War Mouse. What is this? I couldn't find a way to fit this. He made this. You know, this video opened with a song by Drug Church, and it's really funny because I discovered them while I was making this, and they have a song that is very pertinent to this situation.
There's a guy in a group chat with Klansmen, telling you how to live. Just a matter of time before he's the one caught twisted in the wind.
He has a book from 2018 called Jordanetics, A Journey into the Mind of Humanity's Greatest Thinker. Jordan Peterson is believed by many to be the greatest thinker that humanity has ever known. He is father figure, philosopher king, and prophet to the millions of young men who are his most fervent fans and followers. He is the central figure of the intellectual dark web, an academic celebrity, and an unparalleled media phenomenon who has shattered all conceptions of what it means to be modern celebrity in the internet age. He has, by his own admission, thought thoughts that no man has ever thought before. He has dared to dream dreams that no man has ever dreamed before. Of course, Jordan Peterson also happens to be a narcissist, a charlatan, and an intellectual con man who doesn't even bother to learn the subjects upon which he lectures. He is, in short, a shameless and unrepentant fraud who lacks even a modicum of intellectual integrity. Damn. Even Theo Beale thinks you're a hack. I'd just kill myself. If we go back to the New York Times article, there's an interesting tidbit where Beale and one of the other co-creators of The War in Heaven describe it as a role-playing depiction of spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare isn't a vague term. It describes something very specific. The idea that positive and negative forces are real and they work on Earth through human beings. In a sense, it's angels and devils influencing human behavior. The game kind of accomplishes this by making the player go down one of 2 different routes themselves, but I think it's really funny that Theo Beale is into this idea because it makes a lot of sense. Many of the beliefs held by him and people like him are steeped in pseudoscience, and what isn't is usually a weird contradiction that's ignored. But if you believe in spiritual warfare, everything can add up. Liberals want to empower women, and women are inherently emotional creatures who can't think logically unless a man is setting them straight. The wokies do this because women let loose, along with racial groups that are less civilized, are the only demographics that will vote for them, because their policies and ideas are so bad you'd have to be innately stupid to promote them. Why are they pushing bad ideas that will destroy Western civilization? Because the devil is real, and he acts on Earth through human beings. He's out there, and he wants to take everything you love, return to Christianity, and be saved, dumbass. All of the holes that his beliefs in, biologically less civilized people can basically be filled in by religious mysticism. It was God. It's because God did it like that. You can't prove me wrong. Oh, you want to prove me wrong? I guess you must hate Western civilization, the greatest civilization that ever existed. Look at these statues. Look at these Greek statues, dude. Look at these castles. Black people don't build castles. We do that. There is so much more that I could say about this fascinating little man and his very angry, fearful brain, but I've hit my limit. When I first started this video, War in Heaven was this fun, oh, let's check out a Christian FPS, isn't that funny? Isn't that novel? It's mostly interesting to me now as a slice of this man's life story, almost a forecast of what was to come. I wish I could say he's harmless, but he, like all Americans, still has a right to express himself. In most ways. Even though he's been banned off of pretty much every social media platform for being a fucking insane person. I shouldn't have to say this, but pretty much everything that comes out of his mouth or off of his pen is dumb, and you shouldn't listen to him. I mean, in that socio-sexual hierarchy, he breaks down how many sexual partners every male type will have in their lives, and gamma males get a 0.5? I get that it's an average, but like, why imply that? Who's having sex with half a woman? Certainly not Theodore Beale. He only has sex with lots of beautiful white Christian women with long hair.
Here comes a daredevil! Oh!